Hey, Joe, welcome back to another episode of the Vector Accelerator Podcast. You left this fantastic post across multiple social channels. I'm sure there's a couple that I don't follow you on yet. Signal. You're probably on Truth Social.
We don't talk about Signal.
But it was, and I'm going to paraphrase this poorly, but you said something about your past informing who you are. I just love to start off because in the spirit of Thanksgiving, the spirit of the holidays, one of the gifts we want to give you all, the listeners, is the gift of clarity. And this is, I believe, a critical piece. So I just love to dive in and hear what you were thinking, what was behind that post.
Yeah. So the quote is, "Let your past be your teacher, not your identity." And we've talked about this so much, how people in general, not just veterans, we sort of look at our careers, we look at labels to give us our purpose and meaning. And what's fascinating in the work that you and I do with veterans, and as you work with students and young people, even with the young, high school-ish type mind, you go back years and you look at your past, the things that make you feel connected to the world, the things that make you, that bring you joy, like that's some of your best, finest moments. Those are actually teaching moments, and those moments shape us. And I think that's the thing that we take for granted. We're always like looking forward and what's next.
Yeah.
When we go through exercises of self-reflection, we realize, man, I wouldn't be here if I didn't do all those screw ups, if I didn't do all those awesome things, all those moments. If they didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm kind of rambling, but that's the gist of it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you, so you said not your identity. I assume you're talking about the role you've played, resume stuff, job stuff. You're talking about a kid, like, hey, you might've been on the soccer team. You might've been a part of ASB. So what?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Well, that's some of the external stuff, but even the internal stuff, right? Because there's also these the internal monologue of, man, I should have done this when I was a kid, or I wasn't raised in a great home, and therefore I'm not a great person. Like we kind of have these labels and we wear them as labels, as identity, and it's not fair. But if we look back at those moments, it does shape us. It does shape us and help us be more resilient. I think back, one of the exercises that we take people through is self-reflection, thinking back of how the family upbringing I had. Yeah. I wanted certain things that I just didn't get from my parents.
Yeah.
What did it teach me? Well, it taught me how to be a better parent for my kids today. That's so the past it's not my identity. It's just a teacher. And so that's just one example of how we can continue moving forward in a positive way. Yeah. In a healthy way. Yeah.
And you're talking about doing that self-reflection in a way that is productive, helpful, because I think what happens to me when I'm in I'll call it a crisis moment, which is usually what I call transition, a crisis, a problem to solve, is all the noise comes up, the noise of insecurity, the noise of fear, the noise of anxiety, which is just so normal. Every single person has it. But what turns off typically is the real reflective side, the thinking side, even the memories. I can't even access the memories. I've put on the spot before in interview style conversations where someone's like, tell me about a time when, and I'm like, duh, I can't think of anything. So what have you found that's helpful to even tap into some of that stuff in the past?
It's interesting because we've been doing a lot of this work with many veterans recently, and it's simple little prompts. If you don't know where to begin, just think of like your earliest fond memory, right? Yeah. It doesn't have to be where the skies parted and you got this amazing lesson of how to live life to the fullest. It's just something that was meaningful, a moment. Yeah. And then once you've figured out what that moment is, then try to figure out how to ask follow-on questions that begin with what. Yeah. So the perfect question, if you're taking notes, what made that moment memorable for you? Yeah. And what's interesting is every time I ask that to somebody else, It might be simply like, hey, we took a family vacation and it was by the lake. Okay, well, what made it meaningful?
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, there's this follow-on piece where, I ended up spending time with my sister or whatever, or brother more. Okay, well, what about that moment? You know what? We really, and it's just the neat golden nuggets and pieces are buried in there. And so think of a moment and then start coming up with what questions, what made it so important, what made it so meaningful. And you're gonna discover some really cool stuff.
I think very practically, most people have phones, and if you've got a phone, you've got likely a notes app that you can use. And even today, I had a couple memories pop up when I was in the middle of the meeting. I know myself. I know if I don't write them down, they will disappear. Even as committed as I am, I'm going to remember this. I will. It'll be so gone from my mind in 5 minutes, 5 seconds even. So I write them down. That's a tip, I think, as Joe's talking about. When a memory comes up, a fond memory, a memory of a great moment, a key moment, a peak moment, however phrase you want to use, write it down. And then the real good stuff obviously comes as you start to mine for meaning in the midst of that. So because it's December, I think there's 12 days of Christmas. I think there's even 25 days of Christmas. I don't know. Check.
There's a song. There's a song that goes with it.
Check the Toyota commercial for what exactly it is. Yeah, there's a song. Why don't you join us in this season, whatever holiday you celebrate? You can't escape that it's Christmas time. And give yourself the gift of clarity. Start with memories. Start with writing them down. And join us as you listen into these other episodes, you dig into the blog on the Vector Accelerator website, as you even want to maybe take this curriculum, go through this program yourself because it's free. The only cost is your time and willingness to dig in. It's a pretty good deal, though. On the back end, you get clarity for life, which is not bad. If you ask me, money back guarantee. If you don't get clarity, we will give you all of your money back. We'll triple your money back. Okay. If you don't get clarity. But fortunately, this stuff isn't just free. It is effective. And don't trust us. Get to the work yourself. So, Joe, Merry Christmas, dude. Let's do this proper. Let's dig in and give each other the gift of clarity.